Okay guys, welcome. We will be starting the live stream shortly. Just going to wait for a few more people to jump in. If you can hear me okay, we'd appreciate it if you can let me know in the chat. That would be great. Keep an eye out for the Wheel of Fortune icon in our videos. If you see it, quickly take a screenshot, and if you're the first person to upload it to our social network, you'll win either $25 cash or a free membership. The roulette session that you're about to watch uses the area key calculator from roulettecalculators.com. So here's a quick tutorial on how the area key works to give you a much better understanding of what's going on during this gameplay session. If you are familiar with the area key, you can skip forward to the gameplay by clicking on the chapters in the description. Simply put, the area key is looking at how often the ball goes back to the area that it's just spun from. As you can see on the graph in the left, the numbers tracking are highlighted in green. The lighter shade of green on number 5 was the previous result. You will hear us frequently referring to a depth, and this is what that means. If the ball lands on any of the unhighlighted numbers, the depth count increases by 1. It's only when the ball lands on the highlighted number that the depth returns to 0, and that result gets logged into the graphs below. The first setting that you come across is the amount of numbers to track. Currently it's set to 9, so if the previous number was number 20, this would look at number 20, 4 numbers to the left of that number, and 4 numbers to the right of that number, totaling 9 numbers. If say we set the amount of numbers to track to 3, it would look at number 20, 1 to the left and 1 to the right, which would just be tracking number 1, 20 and 14. The next setting that you come across simply controls when the table highlights. Currently it's set to 0. This means that the table will highlight on every single spin. If you set it to 2, this means it will wait until the table goes to a depth of 2 before highlighting. This is useful when you find a dealer with a particular pattern. The third setting, only bet X number into a depth, is for the people that like to use a progressive betting system. It simply acts as a stop loss, so if you only want to make 4 bets into a progression, you would set that to 4. This field allows you to input what you would like your starting bet per number to be, and again is only really there for people that are running a progressive betting system. It automatically calculates what your next bet should be based on the numbers that you're tracking to always keep you in profit. The most important thing when using the area key is understanding what the graph tells you. It directly reflects whether or not a dealer is being consistent and you should play with them, or inconsistent where you should leave the table and find a new dealer. The depth count simply shows you the results and what depth those results have gone to. In this case, there are 2 results being recorded. One went to a depth of 3, meaning it missed the highlighted section 3 times in a row before landing on it. The second result says 0 depth, which means it went straight to the highlighted section. The depth of wins graph shows you what the dealer is doing in real time. As you can see in this example, the last 4 results mean that the ball went to the highlighted section each time. If you look at the 4th result, That means it missed the highlighted section twice before landing on the highlighted section. This is important to identify patterns with a dealer. The best way to fully understand how the area key works and to understand when a dealer's been consistent and when they change is to watch live gameplay. So we recommend watching this video all the way through so you can fully grasp how the area key works and how you can identify dealer patterns and when they... Hello, how's it going, people? We are live now watching this session that Sam has uploaded. Now, as I mentioned before, this really does act as a questions and answers session as well. So if you've got any questions, feel free to drop a comment and we will do our best to answer them in depth. So yeah, we're just going to be watching this video through like we normally do. However, you know, obviously I'm live, so you can ask any questions that you have. First of all, if you could just confirm that you can hear me and also that the background music isn't too loud, because I can't hear the music myself. It's just all running through the software. So you can see he's using the area key as always, tracking 19 numbers, and he starts betting at a positive depth of 0. And you can see it's currently on a depth of 1. And it looks like he's tracked good. Thanks for letting me know, Sam. There will be a delay, obviously, when I read the messages to when I reply. I think it's about 5 to 10 seconds. So that's gone to 35, so that brought it in at a depth of 1 there. It looks like he's gone straight into the betting. Let me just have a look. So he's just won £72. He's at 1,146. Yes, this is Sam D's video. One of them. He sent me about 50 odd that I've got to go through, so I've got a whole bunch of them. But it is really good watching Sam's videos because, I mean, he does have moments where he gets impatient and he openly admits that. But he is very, very good at using the software and is very good at identifying patterns, which is essentially what using these tools is for. Now, I do always say to people, please note they are just tools. All they're doing is showing you the dealer's history, and then it's up to us to make decisions on where to bet based on that information. But in no way do we guarantee that you're going to win when using the tools. They're literally there for... Oh, it is Sam. I was trying to piece it together. Sam Deacon, Sam D. Yeah, so it is a good opportunity to watch Sam, and also he is live in the chat as well, so feel free to ask any questions as well to Sam and he might be able to help out with this as well. But yeah, really good at identifying patterns and also having patience to use the tools correctly. So that went to the opposite area. That went to number 15. So obviously that's gone to a depth of 1. So currently we've got a depth of 1, a bunch of zeros, and now it's currently on a depth of 1 again. So yeah, Sam, if you want to talk your methods behind, if you want to, you don't have to, but it would really help other people out as well. And if you want me to pause the video, I can, to give you an opportunity to explain. I guess that looks like it's gone back to itself. That landed number 25. Giving him a £72 win, so balance is 1,150, I believe. Welcome to all of the new viewers. We're watching one of Sam's sessions, and he is with us
on the chat, so if you've got any questions, you can aim them at myself or Sam, and hopefully we can all learn as a collective. So Sam's pointing out that at the moment it's mainly all zeros and ones, which means it's landing on the highlighted section a lot, and occasionally it will miss and land on the unhighlighted section, like it just did there. Landed on number 7, which then puts that to a depth of 1, which is a good place to start betting on the highlighted area. So as Sam's pointing out, mainly zeros and ones is good. Also, the flip side is if you're just getting big blocks of high numbers. So you can see there, obviously we've got depths of 0 and 1. If you have like a depth of 7, and then the next result is a depth of 4 or 5, the next result's a depth of 8, that's really good as well. So again, that's landed on the highlighted section again, which have resulted in a win there. So let's put him to £1,173. So it's really, really good watching all of these different strategies. Hello Zahid, welcome. I hope I pronounced your name right there. So I'm same betting, I'm win. What do you mean by that? You do the same style betting as Sam does in this particular thing? Yeah, and I agree with Sam there. You should ideally track at least 10 spins just to see if there is a dealer signature happening. So that's gone to number 6. That's put the table at a depth of 1 again. So now Sam's doing the bet on the highlighted section, because looking at the results, it hasn't currently gone past a depth of 1, meaning it hasn't landed on the unhighlighted section more than one time in a row. And, as I say, it doesn't mean that it won't go past, but what we're doing is looking at the table's history, the dealer's history, and then we're making educated betting decisions based on that information. And not all dealers, and Sam will tell you this, not all dealers have a signature. You have to put the time in and search for a dealer that is showing a good signature. And also you need to make sure that they carry on with that as well, because sometimes they do change. But that looks like it came in for Sam then, went to number 36. So that's giving him another win. He's now at £1,190. So at the moment, a very solid start there. Nothing but depths of 1s and 0s. And as I mentioned, that first depth, you can see it said 2. We minus 1 off of the first entry because that gives you a starting point from where you started tracking the dealer. So it's all been 0s and 1s. And Sam just said, yep, most are all over the place and they can change. And we've seen that. We've seen a session, and that's what separates the men from the boys, which we've seen Sam do time and time again, where he's betting on the highlighted section repeatedly, and suddenly the dealer changes and goes from hitting the highlighted section over and over to hitting the unhighlighted section. Now it's important to notice that and change with the times, because if you don't, you're just going to be betting on the wrong side every time, and that could be very bad for your bankroll. So you can see that that's gone to 27, so it's gone from the highlighted section back to the highlighted section. So Sam isn't betting. In this instance, he's waiting for it to go to a depth of 1 before he bets on the highlighted section. Selva, it was a live table. Yep, these are pre-recordings because I can't go to Sam's house and stream live. So yeah, Sam sends me videos, he records all of his sessions, uploads them to me, and then we watch them through and talk through the methodology behind it. that's gone to 22, so that has put the table to a depth of 1. So now Sam's betting on the highlighted section again in this case. Sam's saying, I wouldn't want to come to his place. I do try and stay away from England, to be honest. I lived there all my life and now I've moved to Thailand. I don't think I would be very good in the cold weather anymore because I've been out here 2 years now. And I did go back for Christmas, not last Christmas. I went the year before to visit my family. Okay, so that's gone to number 30. So this is a first instance where it hasn't gone to the section that he wanted. So it's now gone to a depth of 2. I'm not sure if he does a progression on this session or if he does flat betting, but we'll have a look. So you can see now it's the first time it's gone to a depth of 2. So it looks like Sam's going on there. And he's just doing flat betting. So yeah, he's just stuck to the highlighted section. Now, I would imagine if it went to the highlighted section again, Sam would probably sit out because he knows as well as I do, sometimes a dealer can just change. I haven't seen this session, but yeah, I find if you're seeing a solid pattern and it goes past it, you can do the kind of feeler bet. It does look like it has come in for him there, but you can do a feeler bet just to try and get that back. But if it does go to the opposite section again, it's well worth just sitting out and evaluating the table for maybe another 6 to 10 spins just to see what the dealer's done if they've changed. But obviously Sam got that, so his balance is £1,188. It's now at a depth of 0 again, so he is going to wait and see if it goes to a depth of 1. So, I mean, this is a fairly standard gameplay when you see the table acting like this, where it's depths of 0s and 1s. It's pretty easy to play with this style table. Sometimes it's a bit more complicated, but with this, it's fairly straightforward. Okay, so that's gone to 13. So he missed that by 1. So, I'm sorry, he didn't bet that. I'm sorry, he was waiting for the depth of 1, but it missed the highlighted section by 1 there, which is, for me, I prefer to see it more of a solid hit, either right in the middle of the highlighted section or in the middle of the unhighlighted section. Sam's gone in with the bet on this one, so he's covering the highlighted area. And the dealer's pattern does seem fairly strong and consistent with this. I will pause the clip and we'll take a look at the graph. He wants to see it land on the highlighted section now again, and that will carry on with the consistency of her not going past a depth of 1. She's only done that once, and that was very lucky. It hit right on the edge again, but you see it landed around 13.27 and then just got catapulted right back. But luckily, because we're doing a neighbours of 9 numbers either side, he did clip that just on the edge there and did get the win there. So he's now at 1,205. What I'll do, I'll get ready to pause the video. Yeah, let's just do that. So you can see the graph here. Now, if you look at the last win, number 11, that's where he first started logging this dealer. So we -1 off of the first result. So that's a depth of 1, meaning it went to the unhighlighted area on the calculator, and then it followed up by landing on the highlighted area. And then you can see after that 0, 0, 0. That means it went straight to the highlighted section 3 times in a row after that depth of 2. Then on number 7, the last win, number 7, it says 1. That means it went to the unhighlighted section once, which increases that depth to number 1. And then it landed on the highlighted section. And then it went back to the highlighted section for it to give that depth of 0. And then it's followed that pattern. So it's gone from 5, 4, and 3. It went to the unhighlighted section, then to the highlighted section, unhighlighted section, back to the highlighted section, unhighlighted section, back to the highlighted section, which is a nice pattern which Sam's been following, because number 11, 7, 5, 4, and 3 were all of the wins because he was betting on the highlighted section every time the calculator went to a depth of 1. And then of course last win number 2 was straight to the highlighted section, so he didn't bet on that. Then the number 1, it went to the unhighlighted section to the depth of 1. Then Sam made a bet to follow that pattern, but it went to the unhighlighted section again, which took it to a depth of 2. Now Sam didn't do a progression, he just did a flat bet, so he just bet the same amount, and obviously that came in, which brought it in at a depth of 2. And then the last win there was a depth of 1, so he waited until it went to that depth of 1 and then bet on the highlighted section. So B2B, I hope that explains a bit more in depth of what we're talking about. There are a few videos out there which explain the area key more in depth, or if you go to the beginning of this video, there is a brief explanation of how the area key works. I am going to be implementing a course into the Roulette Calculator's social network, so you can actually follow along, and it'll be a bit more of a quiz. You're very welcome, B2B. But we'll carry on watching the rest of this video, and this is exactly what I wanted with the live stream, so people can ask their questions. So now if you look at the table again, I'm just going to pause it there. It landed on the unhighlighted section, which means if you look at the underneath the graph on the right there, where it's highlighted in green, just below that you can see the values, and you see where it says depth. Underneath that it's now saying 1 because it landed on the unhighlighted section. Now looking at all of the previous results, it's the time to be betting on that highlighted section now, because typically she doesn't go past a depth of 1. She's done it once and she went to a depth of 2, but typically she doesn't go past that depth of 1. So let's have a look. I haven't watched this video through. I always watch these organically, even when I do it pre-recorded, just because I prefer to evaluate and have a look. But Sam's doing exactly what I thought he would. He's bet on the highlighted section because the depth is now at a depth of 1. Now it has gone to a depth of 2, and of course it might go past, but again you can see there it's only gone to a depth of 2 once. And of course the first entry says 2, but that is 1 because we always minus 1 off of the first entry. So Sam wants to see it land anywhere before number 26. So that big block of 19 numbers. Okay, it's close. That went to number 8. Okay, so in this case, this is the second time it's happened. It's gone to a depth of 2. So last time Sam did do a bet, he did a flat bet, so he didn't increase. He just bet again, and what that means is he's owned, because it's 19 numbers, and he'll receive £18 profit from the bet. So you can see if he does a second bet, which is flat betting, he would only lose, I think, £2 on that. But you can see this bet, he's actually done a mild progression, and instead of doing £1 per number, he's done £1.50 per number. So again, he really wants to see it land on the highlighted section here, and if it doesn't, if it goes to the unhighlighted section, hello Grounders Key, if it goes to the unhighlighted section again, I'm pretty confident that Sam will sit out and evaluate the table. But it did go to the highlighted section there. It went to number 34, and you can see it was quite a nice spin. It landed on 5, but it carried on, which must have made Sam a bit nervous. But as I mentioned, when using these tools, it's all about looking at the majority and focusing on what's happening, what the dealer's doing. So if he scrolls down again, we'll take a look at that graph. But of course, he's going to wait for it to go to a depth of 1 before he starts betting. So how have you been doing, Grounders Key? Right, so that's gone to number 4, so that's gone back to the highlighted section. So that depth is going to stay at 0 because it's gone from the highlighted section to the highlighted section. And as I explained in my explanation videos, The only time the depth increases is when it lands on the unhighlighted section, and it will increase by 1. So if it lands on any of those numbers from number 7 all the way anti-clockwise to number 11, if it lands on any of those, that depth increases by 1. And if it lands on any of the numbers that are highlighted in green, that will bring the depth back to 0 if it isn't. Yeah, I've been good, thanks. Ground is key. I've really got to learn your real name. Can't just keep calling you Ground is key. Right, so it's currently on a depth of 0 still. Just out in the garden. I hear you're having some good weather in the UK at the moment. Not sure if that's the whole of the UK, but I'm guessing it's been pretty good over there. Ian, there you go. Yeah, so now it's at a depth of 1. Okay, so you can see that Sam will be doing a bet on that highlighted section. So clockwise from number 10 all the way around to 26. Why do you never show betting? Why always Sam? If you look at all of my previous videos, best of, I've added over 100 videos of me betting. I like to share videos of other people using the tools as well, because we can learn a lot from other players. And that went from number 1 back to number 1, which is a really good solid hit there, which has put him up to 1,229. But yeah, look at the graph again. So we've got a depth of 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2, 0, 1. So we've had 2 instances where it's gone to a depth of 2, meaning it's gone to that unhighlighted section twice in a row before landing on the highlighted section itself. Now this is typically a dealer that you want to look for, someone that is showing this type of pattern. Now if you see a table like this and all of a sudden they've got a depth of 5 or 6 come out, and then a depth of 0, 0, 1, and then another depth of 7 or 8, that's a table you kind of want to avoid because it's too unpredictable. So you want to take your time and actually go out and find a dealer that is showing good levels of consistency. Now sometimes it can be it can be difficult. You can be out there for a few hours and not find one, but it's well worth putting the time into it, because in my experience, when you find a dealer that is being very consistent, that's the best time to play. Obviously, I believe that the odds are way more in your favor. Of course, I still don't guarantee that you'll win. It's just the way it is. It's still roulette, but I've tried so many different strategies, all of the number strategies covering the dozens, columns, reds and blacks. I've done the martingale systems, and they work some of the time until anything with a progression is dangerous, in my opinion. If you're doing high level progression, it can work for hours and hours, and as soon as it goes wrong, you can wipe out several thousand very quickly if it misses several times. So we've got a couple of minutes left of this video clip. I believe Sam's already made £100. Maybe more. I think a bit more actually, looking at it. So I think he started at maybe £1,000. I wasn't actually paying attention. So Sam's saying when people ask for help, he wants to help them use the tools at the same time. So don't just try and copy Sam. There's no learning from copying, is what he's saying. So this looks like this might be his last bet. He's currently on a depth of 1, so he will have covered the highlighted section again. That's an interesting question, Ian, or ground is key. Let me just wait for this spin to come out, and then we'll have a bit of a natter. But yeah, that's gone from 11 to 11. So you can see before she's had a very, very good pattern going on, hitting that highlighted when it goes to a depth of 1, and hitting it nice and solid there. So that's at 1,246 pounds. There's a minute left of the video, so I'm not sure if he does one more bet, but I will cover what you were asking there. So I'm not sure if he does one more bet. He might have time. Yeah, another great session there from Sam. And Sam, I really do appreciate you sharing these videos, and I also appreciate you jumping into this this live stream so we can talk through it. So that's gone to the highlighted section. So I believe that's the end of the session for Sam, because there's only 30 seconds left remaining. I will carry on watching it just in case he just decides to go all in on one last spin. Okay, there's a dealer change. So this is why Sam's left the table at this point. So he's just highlighted £1,246. So that's the end of the video. I'll pause it there on the graph there. And I just want to reply, Grand is key. When you find a dealer that has a pattern of 10101, would you take advantage by betting on alternating sections or stick to one section? So Sam's saying he'd flat bet on depth of 1s only, or do 50p's on 0s and then £1 on 1. Okay, well, I mean, that's interesting, because what I am going to be doing is adding the area key alternating. At the moment, the area key is essentially a single direction spin platform. And when you see a pattern like you've just mentioned, a depth of 1, depth of 0, depth of 1, depth of 0, that can be construed as the dealer alternating their spins. So when they spin the ball clockwise, they might be hitting the highlighted section, and when they're spinning the ball anti-clockwise, they might be favoring the unhighlighted. So yeah, we are going to add another calculator in with the area key, which will be a multi-direction one, which is what we've done on the dealer tracker. And that will be very interesting to watch, because of course there are the roulette tables that have a single direction spin. So we could use the normal area key for that, or you can try the one direction one. So there is a lot of playing around with it. The dealer tracker proved so much more beneficial having the single direction spin for that. Obviously it's faster to log a dealer. If you are using the multi-direction one, it does take twice as long to log a dealer as well, because obviously you're collecting two sets of data, the clockwise spins and the anti-clockwise spins. But yeah, sometimes if I see a pattern that has gone like 101010, it can be worth trying it, betting on obviously the unhighlighted section when you see it on a depth of 0, then when it goes to a depth of 1, switching it to the highlighted section, and then in your case you would follow that by a highlighted section bet again. But yeah, I mean, it's really up to you. The tools are essentially just there to show you what the dealer's doing, what their history has been, and then it's up to us to make those decisions. No one can tell you, myself or Sam, where you should bet. All we can do is tell you where we would bet, and obviously that's the only way we can do it. Like I always say, I don't guarantee anyone that they're going to win using these tools, but in my experience they have helped me so much over the last several years to learn a dealer's performance, learn their patterns, their signatures, rather than just doing blind betting, which is betting on your favorite numbers and things like that. So I really hope that explains that. Now, if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to drop a message in the chat. I'll answer a few more if there are any that come in. If not, you can drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer there as well. So I'll just hang fire for a few minutes. I really do appreciate everyone taking the time to watch this video through. Also, I want to say a big thank you to Sam for uploading these videos so we can all watch them together and learn from his gameplay, as well as the tutorials that I've put out there in the past. And I spoke to Sam as well. We're going to create a group on the social network, which we'll call just area key or area key betting styles methods. And we're going to keep all of the posts about the area key in that group, so it doesn't get lost in the newsfeed, because of course we've got over 1,500 members now, and on the newsfeed it is telling, it illustrates when someone new joins, so a lot of the content is just getting lost in that feed. So if you want to head to the group, you can join the group, and then it's a lot easier to see everything related to the area key. Then I'll set up another group for the dealer tracker as well, because I know quite a few people are using that calculator as well. It is one of my favorites, the dealer tracker, and you can combine the two, which we've done in the past, where we're using both the area key and dealer tracker to cross-reference the dealers. So Grinders Key said, have you noticed a difference in live brick and mortar tables and online studio based throughout the years using the area key? Massively. The online casinos, I do believe, are more scamming. And when I've gone to brick and mortar casinos, I used to go to Plymouth Casino just outside of Cornwall, and I was in a big poker tournament, and I went out and then started logging this roulette table with the dealer tracker, and it was hitting the same area of the board, meaning the same number over and over. It landed on the same number. It's just one number highlighted, and it landed on there 6 times. So I quickly put £20 on that area that it was highlighted, and then it came in. And then I did another £20 and it came in again. So it went to like 8 times on one number, and I was like, wow. And then they was calling us back in for the poker tournament, and I was really torn because I was doing really well in the poker tournament. But also this dealer was just gold, absolute gold. But I did go in, I finished up the poker tournament, and then I came back hoping that she was still there, and I think she had gone home. But I'm a magician. A lot of people don't know that. But I've performed in Las Vegas quite a few times, and I love just taking my phone. I always put the brightness way down so that the eye in the skies can't see what I'm doing. And yeah, just sitting at the in live casinos, I wouldn't recommend having your phone out while you're at the roulette table, because you're not allowed for the most part. But you can go onto the touch screen roulette games where you can put money in and do the touch screen, and it is of the live table. So it's essentially like an online casino, but you're actually watching the live table of one of the dealers there. And that way you can just sit down, have a drink, grab a burger, be punching in the numbers and making the bets on the live table, but on the touch screen. So you're not kind of in anyone's space. And yeah, I've noticed when I'm doing live real casinos, the dealers tend to be far more consistent. And I guess the other thing is, when you've got the online casinos, there's so many people that would probably be applying for these jobs that they probably have very strict criteria when they'll probably get them to spin the wheel a few times and give them a whole crash course. I don't know. I've never applied for a job in that scenario, but yeah, I do find you still find a lot of dealers that are not consistent in live casinos, in the brick and mortar casinos. But online does have its advantages as well, because you can just sit at home or anywhere. You can be anywhere in the world with your laptop and still generate a decent income from playing the tables. I'd just say be a bit more careful when you're playing online, because hey Reggae Boy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I think when you've got an online casino at your fingertips, you've got hundreds of roulette tables that you can just go through, and if you've got the patience and you sit there and you log one and go, okay, that's okay, but let's keep looking, and you find a dealer that is just smashing out zeros and ones, or the opposite, then if you've got the patience, you can really make some bank by taking the time and the patience to do it. Whereas sometimes if you're in a brick and mortar casino, there's only 3 or 4 roulette tables, and you might not find a dealer, which can often lead to impatience and just going for it. So yeah, I hope that long-winded explanation answered your question there, Ian. So if there's any more questions, feel free to drop them. If not, I am going to end this stream, and if you've got any other questions from watching this after the stream's ended, make sure you leave them in the comments below. So I'll just wait another minute. And again, really want to thank everyone for tuning in, and of course all of the members within Roulette Calculators. I really do appreciate it. Absolutely amazing community, and you guys are what makes it. So you're welcome, Ian. Take care, and yeah, I think I'm going to oh, Sam's saying he sent me more videos. Yeah, I have a huge collection of Sam D videos, which we will be going through. Now, I've cut them down a little bit because I wanted to do some alternative strategies, because I did get a lot of people asking me, you know, can you share some strategies that can be done without the calculators? And I'm happy to do that. And I know I'm going to get a mixed bag of results. The video yesterday, we did win $150. I still think it's a very dangerous system because it's such high risk. Obviously, you're covering what is it, 34 numbers? So you're covering quite a lot of numbers. But if you miss one, if it lands on one of those uncovered numbers, you lose 150 units, which is detrimental, especially when the actual strategy suggests that you do a martingale, which of course wouldn't even scratch the surface unless you did a triple martingale. So so yeah, there is that. So I am changing it up a little bit, and again, I'll be looking for any other strategies. If you want me to do a test next Saturday, we will totally do that. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to do another video from Sam, and Ian from Ground is Key. I know you've sent me a couple of videos as well. I have got them there, but in about 7 or 8 years, when I get through Sam's videos, I will play them. So take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Speak to you soon.